going on? How you doing? We're back here at the wood yard again today. Another day of digging things out, cutting things down, getting things ready to go to the dump. Just got a few hours today. We're gonna try to get as much done as we can. That center fence from the last video I wasn't able to get to because I ran out of daylight. We're gonna get that dug out from those trees, get those dropped. There's a couple bigger trees. I might need to go back and get a rope. I'm not sure. They're pretty close to the chicken coop, and I'm not too excited about dropping those. I'm not, I'm just getting started with my chainsaw skills, so I'm not sure I want to try dropping that thing when it's leaning toward the shed. I'll show you what I'm talking about here in just a second. But yeah, another day at the wood yard, getting her cleaned up, getting it ready to go. Let's take a look around, show you what we got going on. All right, so we've accumulated quite the brush pile. I had to start a second one. It was just getting ridiculous. This is just all the trees and honeysuckle from this original fence line here. So in earlier videos we took care, got all this stuff out. There was trash all along here, got all that taken to the dump. There's some of that fencing there. Definitely was dealing with a lot of, the back section of this fence was a little more challenging because some of this stuff had just grown up completely through the fence, which is what I'm going to be dealing with today. There was like a small, they must have just sectioned off the chickens here, and these trees have quite literally grown through that. So some logs that I got from the bigger trees. This is the tree I was talking about. So it's just a maple. Ideally, I would drop it toward me and away from there. It is leaning that way, so I may tackle that today, run back to the house and get a rope and just tie it to the bumper of the truck or to the hitch on the truck and just get some tension on that tree just to make sure it goes where I want it to. These trees are no problem. Should get all these out of here today, at least get them down. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow to take all this stuff out to the yard waste facility. Back here along the back of the building, I'd like to get all this stuff out of here. It's just nasty and all cluttered up, and he'd like them away from the building. I'm gonna take time to go around the whole building and just get all this cleaned up. I just, no good having all these nice outbuildings and just having the trees growing up around them. So we're gonna pay it forward a bit, and we're gonna do it with integrity. There's a giant pile of crap I did not know was there. I'm sure to step in that today. You can just about guarantee it. This is gonna be, so this center section of fence is coming out today. This smaller. Hopefully I can get that whole bit out of there. And then eventually we're going to come and get the bigger fence. This was originally an ostrich pen. They had raised ostriches in the past. So yeah, so we're going to get after it today. We're going to start getting things cleaned up. So come along for the ride. So you might be asking yourself, why is he working over top of that little fence in the middle? And why didn't he remove it first? And the answer is, I forgot my tin snips. Like every project, there's going to be a trip back. So I have to head to the house. Luckily, it's only 10 minutes up the road. So not a big deal, but I wanted to get some of these trees cleared out of here. Still got some of the bigger ones to do. She's coming along though. She is coming along. Bumped you on the head, sorry about that. I do want to show you something though. Man, so confession, I don't really have a good understanding of telling the difference between certain trees. Maples being one of them. I think these are just silver maples, but boy, look at that sap flowing. I don't know if you can see that. It's just dripping out of there. And anytime I cut a branch off, you can see it over here. It's just pouring down the tree. You know, it's approaching mid-March. It's supposed to be in the 50s today. Really cold at night. My understanding is that's good sap weather for making syrup. But I do not believe. If you know, leave it in the comments, because I don't know how to tell the difference between a silver maple, a red maple, and a sugar maple. So, yeah, let me know. So I was struck with a moment of brilliance here. Cutting this fence down. I had a section of fence fall on this. And I was going to try to either come up or mow or just stomp this down. It's all dead briars from, not briars, but weeds from last year. It's all brown and crispy. I think I'm going to do it like a baseball field. I'm going to drag that around that and just see how it turns out. I'm thinking it'll work pretty good. We're about to find out. So we got a pretty good pile going over here, the fencing, so that gave you an idea of just how much fencing was ripped out of there. I'm not sure how well it shows up on the videos. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, so this was the tree I was concerned about cutting down because of the lean and its proximity to the chicken coop. But honestly, I think I might just leave it. It might not be a bad to have some shade out here. I might really appreciate that tree. Set the splitter up back here somewhere. Yeah, so next video is going to be cleaning out all these trees here. I don't know how much we'll get done, but I want to work on this fence line too. He wants all that fence out. So this was the backfield. Kind of, let's see here. You can see here in the ground. This was the fence line that divided the chicken coop from that. This field hasn't been used for anything for years. We got all that matted down using that fencing. There's definitely some concerns. Not super excited about what I was seeing. They must have farmed this for like vegetables. This has all been, I don't know if you can see it. Been plowed. There's like, that way, basically the whole space is like that. And these little valleys are holding water. He says there's a lot of clay out here, and I believe it. Come back here to the back corner, which I've never. Back here, it was all fenced. You couldn't get to it. It was kind of see them a little bit here. Man, it's juicy back here. So this is a very, very wet corner. And ultimately, it's all kind of soft. I guess it is a little bit harder up here. Up top there, too, where that first fence was. That's pretty mushy, too. I've been sploshing around pretty much with muck boots on in the mud. This isn't too bad. Maybe it's not so bad. But it's not awesome having these ruts every 2 feet. You got a rut. Great way to bust an ankle. I mean, I got to think about, so the sun moves from here to there. So my rows are going to go like this of my firewood, right? And I got to be able to get a vehicle of some sort, preferably either a truck or a trailer or whatever, back here to load wood up when I'm going to deliver wood. So although I guess this is pretty dry. I was worried because it was so wet back there, but this is pretty dry. But again, I don't like those ruts. So the gentleman that owns the property has a country store where he sells produce and things like that. And the little lady that runs it for him, she was back here looking around, and I was talking to her about how I left these up tall because I'm gonna come in here. We talked about using a bobcat, and I was like, maybe I'll just rent a mini excavator. I've never used one. It looks like a lot of fun, to be honest with you. So thinking about using a mini excavator on this, and she was like, you don't want to do that. She's like, you're gonna have big holes you're gonna have to fill in. You're gonna have to truck in dirt. I was like, She's like, you just take that all the way down as tight as you can to the ground. You get somebody out here with a stump grinder and have them grind those things down. She's like, otherwise you're gonna have big holes everywhere, because those trees are rooted deep and they're gonna pull up a big old ball. Even if you shook the tree and put some of the dirt back, it's gonna be a lumpy mess. So there you go, advice from a source I didn't expect to get it, but I think she's right. I think that is definitely the move. Just lop these guys off as tight to the ground as I can. The smaller ones I won't even worry about. We'll just get them nice and tight to the ground. I might even use a handsaw for those. And then these bigger ones, just get them down close. And those gentlemen that stopped out the other day that talked to me about bringing wood to me, they had a stump grinding business as well. So maybe they'd be good guys to get out here and grind these things down. So there you go, a bit of a change of course for me, but I think that is definitely the move. I'm gonna have to be careful here. He has electric there. And he's not exactly sure how tight to this old fence line that electric is. He felt like it was off a foot or two. So I'm not even sure we'll be able to stump grind those, but I don't know that it's a problem if the stump's down to the bottom. So anyways, things to figure out, but there she is. That is quite a bit of work. If you've watched the other two videos, if you've watched the previous videos, you'll know just how much has gotten done. That was quite a bit of work done. Feeling good about it. Things are coming along. All right, guys, we're gonna call this a day. I got my grandbabies coming to the house, and I've done enough work for one day. Feeling pretty good about things, though, truth be told. And remember, no matter what you do or where you do it, always do it with integrity.